And you will notice a bit warmer this morning.
Yep.
Just a bit.
Especially if you are like me and you're hot natured. It actually feels a little bit better today than yesterday, but boy, it's still cold. And tomorrow, we're talking about single digit or below zero wind chill. So we're going to be all over the place next 24 hours. Good morning and happy Wednesday. I thought it was Thursday when I got up this morning. I thought it was pre-Friday. It's not. Hey, this is a look at some of the current wind gusts out there. And some of you, especially north and northeast of Indy, my goodness, the winds are already picking up. 29-mile-per-hour gusts at Kokomo, 25 at Muncie. But hey, we are all going to experience a very windy day, and especially late this afternoon when the wind advisory will officially go in place. Now, the reason it's going to take that long is because at that point, gusts will be between 35 and 45 miles per hour, but it'll be windy all day long. Officially, wind advisory goes into effect at 6 o'clock tonight. So here's what we're looking at then today. We start out pretty mild, 26 degrees, which is good. That's really good compared to what we've been used to. 23 in Richmond, 29 in Bloomington. The wind chill, if you count that now, is significant. It's in the teens, but we are 10 degrees warmer than yesterday at this time. In Lafayette, you guys are 13 degrees warmer than yesterday at this time. It will become windy all day long, but we're up to 41 today. It's a little bit below average, but we certainly will take it when you consider we've been in the 20s and 30s. Now, during the morning rush hour, some of you may see a few flurries. This is a look at the weather impact situation we have for tonight, especially after the evening rush hour. But tonight into Thursday morning, snow showers will be around with some heavy bursts possible. That means slick roads and some pretty dicey conditions with very cold weather for travel to work or school tomorrow. And we'll break that down more in just a bit. But let's talk about traffic this morning and a couple things we want you to notice. Remember, we were showing you I-69 at Fishers. Here's what's going on now. All of these cones, which were here, they were blocking these lanes off. There's been an INDOT worker that has pulled all of these cones away. So the speed is able to resume at what you would expect, about 60 miles per hour. At one point when they were pulling those cones, people were stopping and going. I mean, it was down to about a 20-minute delay at one point. That is not the situation. Looking good now. Fishers on 69 into Interstate 465 this morning on the city's northeast side. Here's the big board. We don't have anything moving or any problems, I should say, on 465 this morning. This is a look on the west side where they say the west side's the best side. 465 in Washington. This has been a very well-used construction zone, but looking real good right now. We'll have more weather, more traffic in a few minutes, ladies.
Thank you, Chuck. Our top story this morning, more fallout over the major traffic delays and crashes caused by less than an inch of snow here in the metro area.
Yeah, you may recall Monday night State Police and IMPD, they tell us they responded to hundreds of accidents on Monday alone in a short period of time. Well, now INDOT and DPW, they're preparing for tonight's weather and also talking about the next 24 hours and how it could get. Matthew is live this morning with maybe what missed the mark on Monday night.
Yes, INDOT really tells us that they had, well, it was more snow than they had anticipated, rather, which left many roads untreated. Meanwhile, state police say drivers were also at fault for some of these accidents. Now, state police tells 13 News that they responded to about 168 accidents between 3 p.m. on Monday evening and then 6 a.m. Tuesday morning, and some of those from speeding and some slick spots. Meanwhile, Metro Police telling us they had about 148 reports of accidents and slide-offs across the metro. The National Weather Service sending out forecast reports on Sunday evening for light snow across the metro, and by Monday morning, INDOT was having a training for winter weather. So 13 News reached out to INDOT to find out exactly what went wrong. So they declined to go on statement with us, but they did send us a statement reading, quote, due to higher than forecast precipitation rates and accumulation amounts, INDOT was forced to react to roadway impacts during yesterday's snow event. As snow lingered, crews pivoted to utilizing rock salt in impacted areas mid to late afternoon and throughout the overnight hours, end quote. And as accidents piled up, it also made it harder for INDOT crews and snowplows to get out and treat those roadways. Meanwhile, they say they are prepared and will be having drivers on standby this evening going into the early morning hours of tomorrow as we anticipate more winter weather. Meanwhile, Julia and Sia coming up at 6:30 here on 13 Sunrise. You'll hear more from Indy DPW and how they're also preparing.
Thank you, Matthew. And of course, these bitter cold nights, they're tough for the unhoused and forced to find shelter in these frigid temperatures.
Yeah, around these times, Wheeler Mission sees an influx of people in need of a warm bed. Brian Crispin works at Wheeler Mission. He says its men's shelter has 258 beds available, but oftentimes they have more bodies than beds. At the start of the week, the mission housed 332 men. 74 of them had to grab a mat and pick a place on the floor to sleep. The situation is similar over at the women's shelter. There, they have 209 beds available, but often run out of space.
People that are staying under bridges or staying out in some of these camps that you'll see, that's just not possible. It's life or death outside, and so they need to get inside. They need that warmth, or else, I mean, they literally may not survive the night. So especially when it's snowy, rainy, when it's wet, people come inside even more so.
Now, on Monday night, city county councilors voted to allocate money to build a low barrier homeless shelter. So that project expected to cost $32 million. And according to the Indiana Housing Community Development Authority, will open up about 150 additional beds for those in need, something Wheeler Mission, of course, welcomes.
In just a few hours, 2 IMPD officers will be back in court, and they're charged in the death of Herman Whitfield III. Yesterday's testimony focused on what happened while Whitfield was in IMPD custody after officers responded to a mental health call. Officers Adam Ahmad and Steven Sanchez face charges for involuntary manslaughter, reckless homicide, and battery. Prosecutors argue they failed to follow protocol when Whitfield was tased, fell to the ground and handcuffed while in a prone position on the ground. Prosecutors also argue none of the officers rolled him onto his side. Now, the defense told us they're waiting for their day to present their evidence in court to prove that officers acted reasonably and did not violate the department's general orders.
6:08, the Indiana Supreme Court is now weighing in on whether an inmate on death row will be executed in the next couple of weeks. In 1997, a jury convicted Joseph Corcoran of murdering 4 people, including his own brother. According to our partners at the Capitol Chronicle, his team filed a motion to stay the execution last month, claiming that he is mentally ill. This case has been thrust into the spotlight. Last month, dozens of people rallied against the death penalty at the state capitol. Corcoran's execution date is set for December 18th. The state Supreme Court has until then to make a decision. Now, this will be the first state execution in 15 years. It was paused because they did not have the availability of a drug used in lethal injections.
This morning, Indiana's most winningest football head coach in state history says he's not hanging it up just yet. Larry Bud Wright tells 13 News he submitted his resignation letter after 59 years as the head coach of Sheridan High School. Wright told our Rich Nye the administration gave him an ultimatum to resign or be fired. He was suspended for 1 week this season over accusations of verbal abuse of a player. Sheridan Superintendent Dave Mundy tells 13 News that the district and Coach Wright agreed that 2024 would be his final season.
Well, this morning, demolition is starting on the Brown Library at George W. Julian School 57 to expand it into a parking lot. Right now, IPS is implementing changes to improve street safety outside of its school.
Now, it comes 3 years after a driver hit and killed a 7-year-old Hannah Crutchfield outside of School 57. The district is using money from the Rebuilding Stronger referendum to tear down the library. They're also changing the flow of traffic to make it easier for buses, cars, and pedestrians to get around.
Our goal is to reemphasize our commitment to safety, security, and accessibility for all of our students and staff who come through these doors.
The full renovation should be done by next summer. Well, this holiday season, IMPD is honoring the officers who've died in the line of duty over the last 50 years. They invited the families of those officers to a special service at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy called Project Blue Light. It's an honor that happens every holiday season for the families of fallen officers. This year, they added, unfortunately, 2 more names to the ceremony. They're Hendricks County Sheriff's Office Deputy Sheriff Fred Fisler and Newton County Sheriff's Officer Corporal Brandon Schreiber.